What is computer? Computer is an electronic and programmable device that consists of several components that are provided the capability of executing stored program, accepts data, process stores, and produce result. A computer consists of a certain processing unit, CPU, memory, and storage, and peripheral devices including some from network connection. A computer performs four operations. Input any task, command, or data given to the computer by the user to do. Processing converts data into information. Data, any raw function. Example would be two random numbers 5 to 19. Information, process data or interpreted data that is organized, manipulated, started, used for computation. For example, with the sum of two numbers presented 5, 9, the result will be the information. Output, the result of processed data shown to users. Storage, any form of data information can be permanently recorded. All of this operation makes it so any of the tasks that we do that computer can do will be easier for us. We use computer because number 1, it increases speed. Nowadays we use application on our phone to get what we're looking for, calculation, getting mathematical answer, dictionary apps, the meaning unknown words, and the internet, generally knowledge consumption. 2, it reduces cost. The most extreme example of being having to pay for mailing someone or paying telephone bills just to talk to people great distance, which can now be done by using Messenger with our SIM free data service. 3. It improves the quality of life. Aside from communication, having a computer makes the general population have the easier time. It both tool both workers and students an easier time to do tasks can be also used from pleasure. And lastly, the number 4, it can store and retrieve data. Elements of computer. First element of computer is hardware. Hardware is the physical parts of the computer in which we use to interact with the programs inside the computer. These components include the input devices, keyboard, mouse, mic, the output devices, monitor, printer, and the processor. The second element of computer. Software is the second element of computer composed the programs that you let you use in the computer's hardware. The two main types of software are system software, the main programs that let you use computer, operating system, and application software, program used to specific function, gamers, Microsoft Office, Instagram. The third element of computer is peopleware. Peopleware composed of human who use a computer. The fourth element of computer is data. Data is the raw data, facts and figures imputed into a computer system. This will be stored and processed by the computer to produce information, data that has been processed to produce coherent ideas. The fifth element of computer is connectivity. Connectivity is the process of connecting two or more devices together to share data, files, printers, internet via connection like cables, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and internet, and etc. The fifth and the last element of computer. The fifth element of computer is procedure. These are the step-by-step instructions to follow when using hardware, software, and data. They are typically written manuals, either printed or electronic form, soft copy. History of computers. Most people take computers for granted today without even noticing their impact on society. To gain a better understanding of our digital world, we examine the history of computing. Computers generally falls into generation, each which is well covered. We will also look into each generation affected and the general populace. We will looking all this innovation through a timeline. Our local history. Counting system of Filipinos. The old counting system for Filipinos is the same as the modern day one. It comes to the first 20th number and multiples of 10. 20, 300 but the difference lies between the series. For example, 21 wasn't 21 but maikatlong isa, meaning 1/3 is set 10, which makes sense. 1:10, the first set 10, 11 to 20 is the second set of 21 to 30, third set of the 10, etc. The change to the modern Filipino counting system came with the colonization of Spaniards. Since they were using the Arabic numerical system will be shown below, we adapted their way of numbering as well as we do now. Early methods of calculation. Between 30,000 and 18,000 BCE, numerous archaeological digs bones with markings in the straight lines close to the another that suggests early humans were using various materials and straight lines tallies to count. Among these, Ishango bones discovered 1960. Between 2000 BCE, Hibiscus is a calculating tool that uses beads and wires. The the beads represents a unit. The bottom left most represent 1 unit. 1 unit beads next to the 10 units next 100, and on the beads on top left represent 5 units. The next one 50. The next one 500, and so on. Between 700 to 900 AD, the Indo-Arabic numerical system, a decimal system using the number 0 to 9, were slowly being developed in the Middle East, northwestern India, which slowly migrated to Europe. In between 1642, Pascaline was made by Blaise Pascal at the age of 18 to help his tax collector father so sums the differences. The device operated using gears of exponential size where one rotation of one gear will equal to 10 rotation of the second gear, which is equal to 100 rotation of the third gear, and so on. You add subtraction numbers by turning certain gears clockwise to add counterclockwise to subtract. How gears works. A turn from a smaller gear equals to 1 while the bigger gear equal to 10. To get the full revolution from the bigger gear, the smaller gear will have to turn 10 times. (1671) Leibniz machine was made by Gottfried Wilhelm von Leibniz, which can multiply, divide, and work square roots. It's also used same mechanism as Pascal, but Leibniz added extra storage location gears to represent how many addition or subtraction can perform. Remember that multiplication is adding a number for x number of times, while division is opposite. It's operated by using two-hand cranks. Adjust two numbers for either multiplication or division. (1801) Joseph Murray Packard invented a programmable loom where you insert punch cards. Think bingo, where you put holes when you get a number into the loom. It automates the loom. Loom are apparatuses for making fabric or weaving yarn thread together. (1820s and 1830s) Charles Babbage, regarded as the father of computer, made a difference engine used to comply mathematical table. Is the first would perform input, accept data, process and different equations, store orientation of gears, represent numbers and output, final set of a developing analytical engine. A proposed engine that can compute any mathematical problem can be used general purpose but never finished because George Bolo ran out of his funds. His first engine was funded by English government £17,000 and the proposed analytical engine would cost £80,000, which is around 10 million pounds when adjusted to inflation. He sought the help of Lady Augusta Ada Byron King. Countess of Lovelace referred to the first computer programmer. She helped Charles Babbage refine his ideas of making machine programmable and compile data for him. (1854) George Boole invented a new branch of mathematics called Boolean algebra, in which values are true or false or 0 and 1s. This will be used in computer later on. (1890s) Hermano Hollerith made a tabulating machine used to compile census data on U.S. which which reduced a 10-year job across the country down 3 months. His model was based on the Jacquard loom. Herman Hellerith went on make the company named Computing Tabulating Recording Company, which was renamed International Business Machine in 1924. In 1925, the differential analyzer was made by Vannevar Bush, which is an analog calculator. It performs different equation calculus. The analog computer consists of gears that shafts that team need to assemble to perform a mathematical problem. And each unique mathematical problem needs different type of assembly. In 1925, C1 invented by Conrad Suss was the first programmable binary computer. The machine was made up of slotted metal plates which acts as its memory, a paper film used for instruction, a keyboard for output, and uses rose lights as output. It was also the first computer used a binary numbering system, eliminated the difficulties in making machine for the decimal in the numbering system. Vacuum tubes, invented by Lee De Forest, father of radio in 1906. Used for alternative for switches and gears. As a big or bigger as a person, thumb glows red hot like tiny electric bulb. Vacuum tubes allow current to flow stop in flow, which help in calculation and computing processes. Used in devices such as ABC Colossus, used in World War II for deciphering German message. ENIAC, electronic numerical integrator or calculator, which is fully digital computer. EDVAC, electric discrete variable automatic computer. UNIVAC, universal automatic computer used to tally census. And EDSAC, electric delay storage automatic calculator. The problem with this is they consume too much electricity and consume too much space, but they were to step up mechanical parts and can be better stored and handle binary and boolean values. Much of the development in computer by the time were due to onset of World War II. They needed as much as information as possible against the enemies. (1939) Atanasoff Berry Computer, or ABC, was made by Johann Atanasoff and Clifford Berry, made with switches to store numbers. It uses capacitor to store binaries and vacuum tubes to perform arithmetic and logic operation on punch cards. Output input unit. It was still development when it was discontinued. (1944) Colossus, the first large-scale electronic computer, went into operation in 1944, a way to decipher German encrypted message during World War II. (1944) Mark I was designed and built by Harvard graduate student Howard H. Aiken with BMI to solve advanced mathematical physical problem. With World War II happening, it was the first used military purpose until the end of the war. (1946) ENIAC, or Electronic Numerical Integrator and Computer, was the first programmable general-purpose electronic digital computer. It was made by compute values of artillery range but can use for process. The problem lies with the changing its wirings when it use different purpose. But it was most powerful calculating device built to date. It occupied by 50 to 30 feet area, making a big classroom. (1947) EDVAC, or Electronic Discrete Variable Automatic Computer, was the successor of the ENIAC. It was more powerful than ENIAC in terms of internal memory. 1949, EDSAC or Electronic Delay Storage Automatic Calculator is the first full-size stored program computer, meaning it can hold computer programs led by a team of Morris Wikes. They made machine to deal with the problems around computer programming. (1951) Univac or Universal Automatic Computer was made by the makers of ENIAC, J. Presper Escort and John Mauchly as the first commercially produced electronic digital computer. It can do 1,000 calculations per second and consists of 5,000 vacuum tubes, weighs 16,000 pounds, and was programmed by plugging and replugging 6,000 switches. (1950s) Transistors, made by William Shockley on 1948, use semiconductors as signal amplifiers and switches. They generally smaller than vacuum tube. This is made for smaller computers. By eliminating vacuum tubes, computer became more reliable. The magnetic core memory, although very expensive, permitted computers to have a larger main memory size, from hundreds or thousands of bytes to upward a million bytes. Additionally, size by computer was reduced because the reduction in size of hardware with smaller and computer. The physical distance that the electrical current had a travel between components was lessened. And thus the computer got faster. Less distance means less time taken to travel that distance. (1960s) Integrated Circuit or IC. IC is invented two separate times at the same time by Jack Calby and Robert Noyce in 1960s, but Noyce can be manufactured more easily. Composed of several transitions that could be manufactured all once in a block. This made smaller computers. Integrated circuits took less space in the distance that current had flow reduced, which made efficiency computers. As the result of IC's mass produced, the cost of manufacturing computer was reduced, which makes small organization Fortis computer. Mainframe and microcomputers were produced by this time. 1970s microprocessor made by Federico Pagin and Martian Edward Hall in Intel Integrated Electronics, composed of integrated chips built on single chip. Intel 404 was the first commercially available processor or microprocessor. Gave the way to the first personal computers Altair 8800 and Apple I. The rise of microprocessor meant any tech-savvy person who can assemble a personal computer, which rise to make an innovation in computer. More people who use computers means more people invested in upgrading their computers. They were also use networking and also use higher and more complicated languages. Their inputs computer language like C, C++, D-base, etc. When input these computers below a microprocessor in the first Apple computer made by Steve Jobs. (1980s present). This generation based on parallel processing, having two or more processor hardware, AI, artificial intelligence, software AI is an emerging branch of computer science which interprets the meaning of the method of making computers think like human beings. All the high level of languages C and C++, Java, Net, etc. are used in this generation. The generation began somewhere around 1891. It has present generation computers. The methods of include modern high-level languages like Python, R, C++, Java, etc. This extremely reliable employ ULSI, the Ultra Language Scale Implementation Technology, resulting in the production of microprocessor chips having 10 million electronic components. These computers are the frontiers of the modern scientific calculation and the use of developed artificial intelligence or AI components that will have the ability to think for themselves. AI include robotics, neural networks, game playing, development for expert system to make decisions in real-life situation, natural language understanding generation. The main features of fifth generation: ULSI technology, development of artificial intelligence, development of natural language processing, advancement of parallel processing, advancement of superconductor technology, more user-friendly interface with multimedia features, availability of every powerful and compact computers at the cheaper rates. Some computer types on this generation are desktop, laptop, notebook, ultrabook, Chromebook. The fifth generation is dominated by artificial intelligence. Present and beyond, the fifth generation computing device based on artificial intelligence are still in development, though there are some applications such as voice recognition that are being used today. The use of parallel processing and superconductors helping to make artificial intelligence a reality. Quantum computation and molecular nanotechnology will radically change the pace of computers years to come. The goal of fifth generation computing is to develop devices that respond natural language and capable of learning the self-organization. Classification of computers according to size and capacity. Microcomputers are also called personal computers. These are computers that not only used by one person at a time. Categories of microcomputers include desktop computer made of several components including but not limited the system unit, keyboard, mouse, and monitor. And the second is mobile computers, more compact computers with a portability and battery life. Example, laptops, tablets, smartphones, and wearables. Servers. These are types of computer used to provide resources, service, and functionality to client computers in a server-client network. Model their size will depend on the purpose and task in the network. Of course, bigger and more multitasking installation will require multiple system storage installation resource provided by the based on the function of particular server which may fall under categories. File server, database server, print server, FTP server, application server, web server. Mini computers, basically server computers capable of supporting tens of a few hundred users in a time. They were more powerful than microcomputers but less than mainframes but almost extinct because the popularity of microcomputers. Mainframes are large computers capable of supporting hundreds of thousands of users simultaneously used by large-scale components. Those transaction. Other uses include performing ATM can withdraw and deposit during the process of communication between the mainframe and the remote computer will help accomplish financial transaction at hand. Business transaction that use credit cards or prepaid cards. Online electronic transaction. Cloud storage. Handling a patient records in major hospital. Making reservation and travel schedule for airline commuter companies. Manipulation and tallying data or census electronical purposes. Supercomputers. The most powerful type of computer capable of handling application needing immense amount of mathematical calculation. It excels including a few programs fast as possible. These computers may need hundreds of thousands of IP to use, how would cost $200,000 to over $100 million. Uses include in the field science research use the machines to compute the model properties of biological compound like protein and human blood. They also used to interpret new disease and strains and predict the illness behavior and treatment. The military uses supercomputers to test new aircraft, tanks, and host weaponry and camouflage. They also use them to understand the effect will have soldiers, and these machines are also used to help encrypt and decrypt sensitive data. In entertainment, supercomputers are used to make a flawless online gaming experience. Games like World of Warcraft demand intense processing. When thousands of gamers around the world are playing, the supercomputers help stabilize the game performance. Meteorologists use them to stimulate weather behavior. They can also be used to predict earthquakes. Scientists use them to stimulate and test the effects of nuclear weapon detonation. Embedded systems, standalone electronic hardware designed to do a specific number of tasks. Popular devices may be categorized under embedded system are listed below. Set-top boxes, MP3 players, DVD players, drones, printers, anti-lock braking system, USB device like internet dongles, streaming players like Google Chromecast and Roku. Thermostats, calculators, toys, digital cameras, ATMs, video games and consoles, routers and network peripherals, computer add-on cards, peripherals, digital watches. According to purpose, a special purpose computer designed to perform a specific task program of instruction is built into or permanently stored in the machine. Specialization result in the given task are performed very quick and efficiency. Most special purpose computers have capability of performing just one task. They frequently referred to be as dedicated because their limitation to specific task at hand. Examples include any embedded system since they do a specific task. General purpose computer. These machines have capability of dealing with a variety of different problems and can act as responsive programs created to meet different needs. A generally purpose computer that can store different programs, instruction, and thus to perform variety of operation. Examples include smartphones, personal computers, supercomputers. Components of a computer. Keyboard. An output device that let us enter character, letters, numbers, special character, and other default customizable function. Mouse. An input device that let you move cursor on display screen as well as pointing and clicking on object using slide cursor. Trackball. An input device that serves as a purpose as the mouse to move the cursor, user to move the ball to let it roll. Joystick. Joystick is also pointing device that which used to move the cursor position of the monitor screen. It is having spherical ball both lower and upper ends. The lower spherical ball moves in a socket. The joystick can be moved on 4 direction. The function of joystick similar that mouse is mainly used in computer aided design, CAD, or and playing computer games. Touchscreen. Allow the user to make selection by simple touching the display screen. Light pen makes use the light sensitive detector that shape a pen, select objects and display screen on used to art related projects. Barcode reader are photoelectric scanners that read barcodes on vertical zebra strips. Marks printed product contains this device are generally used in supermarkets, bookshop, etc. Scanner. An output device that reads scan paper and printed data and translate into a form that computers can use. Digitalizer. Digitalizer is an input device that converts analog information into a digital form. A digitalizer can convert signal from television or camera into a series of numbers that could be stored in computer. They can also be used by the computer to create a picture of whatever the camera has been pointed at. Digitalizer, also known as the tablet or graphics tablet, as it converts graphic and pictorial data binary inputs. A graphic tablet as a digitizer is used for fine works, drawings, as image manipulation and application. Microphone. Microphone is an output device that uses sound that then stored in a digital form. The microphone is used for various applications such as adding sound to a multimedia presentation or mixing music. Magnetic ink card reader. MICR input device generally used in banks as the large number of checks we process every day. The bank's code number, check number are printed on the checks. With a special type of ink contains particles of magnetic material that are machine reliable and reading process is called magnetic ink character recognition or MICR. The main advantage of MICR is that passless error prone. Optical character reader OCR is an output device used to read printed text or scans the tip optically character converts into a machine readable code and stores text system memory. Optical mask reader. OMR is a special type of optical scanner used to recognize a type of mark made by a pen or pencil it used where out of few alternatives it is selected and mark it. It is especially used for checking the answer sheets or examination having multiple choices question. Processing. The task of performing operation, arithmetic and logical operation is called processing. The central processing unit or CPU takes data and instruction from storage unit make all sorts of calculation based on the instruction given type of data provided. It is then sent back to the storage unit. CPU includes the arithmetic logic unit ALU, the control unit CU, and the memory unit MU. Arithmetic logic unit or ALU. All calculation and comparison based on the instruction provided are carried out with the ALU. It perform arithmetic function like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and also logical operation like greater than, less than, and equal to, and etc. Control unit or CU. Controlling all operation like input processing and output are performed by CU. It takes care step-by-step processing all operation inside the computer. Memory unit or MU. In this unit stores intermediate instruction data and intermediate result. All open application needed to have storage for all instruction. The memory unit manage those. If you can close the application, the memory unit will have pre-memory space. The memory unit is also called RAM to be discussed below. Storage. Cache memory. Cache memory is a very high-speed semiconductor memory which can speed up the CPU. It acts as a buffer between the CPU and the main memory. It used to hold those parts of data and program which are most frequently used in the CPU. The part of the data programs are transferred from the disk to cache memory by operating system, from where the CPU can access them. It acts the same as the main memory, but the more frequently used programs and the instructions are stored there. Cache memory are usually located within the motherboard, which we'll discuss below. Primary memory. 1. Random access memory or RAM. A part of the computer system is currently open operating program, operating system application programs, and their use data are stored. It's said to be the volatile since its contents are accessible only long as computer is on. If you open the upper program on your phone, it takes you up space within the part. Of the more programs you open, the less space there is on your RAM, which may slow your computer or phone down. But if you lose your programs, RAM will have more space. 2. Read-only memory ROM. especially type of memory that typically contains manufacturer's instruction. Among other things, it stores initial program to load everything for the computer known as bootstrap loader. You'll see the bootstrap loader go when you turn on a computer. Every process the computer does before the Windows logo appears is the bootstrap loader. This part of also located in the motherboard. Secondary memory, storage for data that can be used later on even a computer turned off. Magnetic tapes, storage data typically used to store audio and video files. Examples include Betamax video home system cassettes, VHS, and radio cassette. Diskette. A diskette is a random access removable data storage medium that can be used on personal computers. Size include 3.5 inches square and about 2 mm thick, also called 3.5 inch diskette. It can store up to 1.4 megabytes of data and 5.2 inches square as about millimeter thick and capable of holding 1.2 megabytes of data. And zip disk, another 3.5 inches diskette capable of holding 100 MB of data. Hard disk drive, made up of metal disc stuck on top of other and sealed in the box. Each disk capable of storing data. Solid state drive. Solid state drives use the flash memory to deliver superior performance and durability because there are lots of small moving parts inside your hard drive. Magnetic heads, splinters, and spinning platters. It easily things to go wrong and could be lose your important data without moving parts. SSD, the more durable, run cooler, and use less energy. Think of these flash drives the size of hard disk made on your computer. Compact disc or digital video disc, Blu-ray, portable disc capable of handling moderate to large amount of data. CDs contain up to 700 MB, 4.7 GB for a DVD and 550 GB for a Blu-ray. USB flash drive, small ultra portable storage devices. Secure digital card or SD card. A first glance on SD card is small flat rectangular object with a notch alongside each and copper lids called pins embedded in alongside other edges. They can be used devices as long as they have an SD port. Output monitor is an output device that resembles television screen. It displays the main interface for the user. There are two kinds of monitors in circulation today: cathode ray tube monitor (CRT). CRT display is made up of small pictures elements called pixels. The smaller pixels better than image clarity or resolution. It takes more than one illuminated pixel from a whole character such as letter E. It's cube-like, therefore it takes more space and consumes more electricity than its modern counterpart. Flat panel display monitors. The flat panel display refers to a class video devices have reduced volume, weight, and power requirement comparison to CRT. You can hang on them walls, wear them in your wrist. Current uses for flat panels display include calculators, video games, monitors, laptop computers, and graphic display. The flat panel can either be light emitting diode monitors, LED use diodes to illuminate the whole screen, converted electrical energy into graphics, and liquid crystal display monitors or LCD uses a whole light backdrop that also converts light into graphics. Printer used to be produce text, graphical data, and paper. There are types of printers. Most notably, there are diode matrix printers which produce grayscale printouts using a series of dots to create a character, letter on image. They are economical, but equality to the printout is poor. Laser printers. There are non-impact page printers that laser lights to produce the that's needed from the character printed on a page. They use toners for printouts and only print grayscale. This typically used when producing several copies of some documents. Inkjet printers, non-impact character printers based on relatively new technology. They can print characters by spraying small drops of ink into paper. Inkjet printers produce high-quality output with representable pictures and can produce color printouts. Speaker used to manipulate and output sounds. Internal parts of a computer. Computer case. Computer case is a system case necessarily on an internal part of a computer, but it holds all the internal parts together. It provides protection and support for the internal computers. They are durable, easy to service, and have enough room for expansion. They came from different layout sizes and called form factors. Inside a computer case, hard disk drive, CPU, RAM, power supply, the convert AC power into different DC voltage depending on the different parts of a computer. Motherboard. The motherboard is the main circuit board for the computer and accommodates all the parts of the computer so data signals can travel between those individual pieces efficiently. Cooling system. Electronic components generated heat. Too much heat then can damage components, so fan and heat sink cools the parts absorb the heat. Representatively, the CPU particularly hotter than most parts, so it's needed to have dedicated heat sink and fan. Adapter cards. Adapter cards increase the functionality of a computer, adding controllers to specific devices or by replacing manufacturer or malfunctioning parts. Card use include: number 1 is sound video adapter for better quality and people who use extra monitors. 2. Network interface cards for a dedicated network adapter. And lastly, the number 3 is cards for extra connection to motherboards, USB video parts. Optical drives. An optical drive is storage device used lasers to read the data on optical media. There are three types: CD, DVD, and Blu-ray.